the most tremendous new musical experience you can have.
Alright, what's up y'all? It's Logan, and I'm here bringing y'all a video just to give you a couple quick reviews to some albums that came out this past weekend. Just some ones that I didn't feel like warranted their own video. I didn't have enough to talk about them, or for the most part, none of these actually fit into the hip-hop category, somewhat into the R&B category for at least one of them anyways. But I just didn't have enough to say to warrant a whole video, so I got 3 albums here that I want to talk about. First of all, I will start with John Legend's Bigger Love. It came out this past Friday, June 19th. That's when all of these came out. This one tracks in at 16 songs and 55 minutes. And overall, I mean, it's about what you would expect from a John Legend album in 2020. You know, he's given us some beautiful vocals. You know, he has some solid, soulful production on there. And of course, obviously, based on the title Bigger Love, he's talking about love, he's talking about emotions, getting a little introspective like that. I mean, overall, this one was solid, but it didn't speak to me too much. Like, that's what I expected from a John Legend album. Like, I thought I'd enjoy it, but I didn't think it'd be anything. I didn't think it'd be layered, you know, like, obviously like The Weeknd's album, or Brent Faiyaz, or if Daniel Caesar dropped an album, you know, I feel like I would enjoy all of those more than John Legend, you know. John Legend, while I love his voice, I think he works very great with other hip-hop artists, and I think he has great solo music, of course. He's a legend, by all means, no pun intended there. Up to to this point now, it's not like I'm going to be looking forward to an album from him. Overall, I felt like this was a solid 7 out of 10, and I specifically loved the song Actions, which starts out with a solid Dr. Dre, The Next Episode. Little sample there. I thought that was pretty cool, especially seeing him spin that. So yeah, overall, I mean, a pretty solid project. Nothing special. If you enjoy John Legend, check it out. But overall, I mean, I'm not going to go out of my way to listen to it again. Now, after that, of course, that one was one we were expecting. After that, we saw the surprise release of Teyana Taylor's project, The Album. This one comes in at 23 songs and 1 hour and 17 minutes. And, I mean, overall, it's really solid. It has some really good features. I got the track list right here. I mean, we got features from Rick Ross. We got Erykah Badu, Quavo. Quavo has a really good feature, actually, on the song Let's Build, where he doesn't even really rap. He harmonizes with Teyana Taylor, which is really surprising to hear him do. That was really fun to listen to. We also get a feature from Kalani. On the song Boomin', one of my favorites, we get Missy Elliott and Future. And Future's in his bag on this one with the auto-crooning, but like in a sad, introspective way, like you know he can do. I really enjoyed that a lot. We also get Big Sean on Shoot It Up. And finally, probably the most surprising and amazing feature, we get Miss Lauryn Hill on the last track, We Got Love, which is a great song. Of course, anything by Lauryn Hill is amazing. Teyana Taylor is singing her heart out on this one. The beat selection overall is solid, although not as good as on her last project that was a part of the Wyoming series, of course. Produced by Kanye, it's hard to top that. My biggest complaint about this one is that it is 23 songs long. And for some artists, I can deal with that, you know, but the fact that it's 23 songs and it's 1 hour and 17 minutes, so like if the songs were shorter, it wouldn't be that big of a problem if it was less than 1 hour long or something like that. But being that the songs are average length and there's a lot of songs, it just adds up to a long project that I just don't really want to sit through like that, you know? Not saying that it's bad, it's pretty solid, but it's just really long, and Teyana does not, especially on this project, have the energy to catch my attention like that, you know? Overall, like, it's enjoyable and the highs stand out, but it gets pretty boring by the end of it. That's why I had to go with a 6.5 out of 10 on that one. You know, it was just nothing special and not enough to keep my attention, and definitely not enough to make me want to come back and listen through that entire project. Finally, the surprise project of the year. We knew it was coming. You know, it's not a surprise that it dropped, but it's a surprise at how good it was. Bob Dylan, Rough and Rowdy Ways. Now, Bob Dylan is a folk rock artist who is 79 years old. That's right, 79. He is nearly 60 years into his music career. I believe his first album dropped back in 1961 or 62. So yeah, almost 60 years into his career. He has classics such as Highway 61 Revisited, Blood on the Tracks, Free Will and Bob Dylan, Blonde on Blonde. So many great projects. And his last solo project came out in 2012 called Tempest. After that, from 2013 through 2019, he was dropping a couple of cover albums and stuff like that, but that was his last solo project where he made the music, originally. Now, Bob Dylan has never been known for his vocals. He has good vocals, specifically showcased on songs like a Rolling Stone. That's my personal favorite. He has good vocals, of course. The times are changing, songs like that, but it's not like he has a huge vocal range. Where he really became famous is through his songwriting, through his storytelling, through his multi-layered messages and symbolism. And that just continues on this one. Of course, as of late, him being an older gentleman, he has been focused more on his mortality because he realizes, his time could be coming, and he wants to speak on that, although he should know his impact will always be in the game. For those of you who don't know, since you follow me as a rap page, Bob Dylan is probably definitely a top 5 most influential musical artist of all time. Maybe even second, only to the Beatles. You can never top the Beatles' impact on music, but Bob Dylan is right up there with them. But like I said, as of late, his music has taken a much darker tone compared to that of his earlier career because he's been focused on his own mortality. That is showcased on multiple songs in here, such as, let's see, the final track, Murder Most Foul. That is a very dark track. It was one of the singles that came out before this album, and it is the entire B-side of the vinyl. So the vinyl contains the first 9 tracks as side A. Side B is the 10th track. This is 10 tracks, 70 minutes. Reason for that being, the final track is 17 minutes long, and it is incredible. It is such a journey. He talks a lot about JFK and his murder, his assassination. He talks about the events ongoing through that, and then he talks about how that affected pop culture, the people who became famous after that, how people were affected by that, and such as that. Overall, the songs on this album average out to about 4 to 6 minutes apiece outside of the last 2 tracks, the second to last track being 9 minutes and the last track, of course, being 17 minutes. And he goes through multiple phases of his music on this one. He shows off beautiful vocals, such as on I've Made Up My Mind to Give Myself to You and Mother of Muses. He has some more upbeat tracks, such as False Prophet and Goodbye Jimmy Reed. And then, of course, he has some really dark tones, such as on Murder Most Foul, and specifically on the intro track, which might be my favorite song, I Contain Multitudes. On that one, he's talking a lot about the layers of a man, saying I contain multitudes. He's talking about different facets, different sides of the coin. He'll talk about one side and then the exact other and say they can both be in the same man. I really like that he's showing the sides that can make up a man. Overall, I love the topics on this one. I love the songwriting, the storytelling, all of that. I think it shows the multiple facets of his career that he has shown. The fact that he still has this beautiful voice that he can show off as a 79, near 80-year-old man, but then also go into the gruffness, the darkness that you could hear on songs like I Contain Multitudes and False Prophet. That just shows how talented he is to still be doing it at this point, this length into his career. This is his 39th studio album, and again, he is 79 years old. It's truly incredible that nearly 60 years into a career, you can drop an album this good. And if I'm going to give it a rating, I'm going to have to say this is a 9 out of 10 potential classic. That's right, this is the only potential classic I've given out ever since I started this channel. Looking back, Igor probably could have been in that category as well, but that was before I started doing these categories for rankings. This might get an honorable mention on my end of the year list just because it doesn't fit into my normal foray of reviews. Y'all know I usually stick to hip-hop and R&B, so I'm probably not going to put this in my top 10, although it is strong enough to be in my top 10, certainly. I'm probably not going to put it up there just because it doesn't fit into my normal foray, but I should be able to remember to put it into my honorable mentions, or maybe I'll just make another video for recognition if I come up with a couple more non-hip-hop, non-R&B albums that I want mentioned. Probably just going to end up in my honorable mentions, though, and have a little asterisk saying it would be in the top 10. That being said, that's all I got for y'all. If you enjoyed those albums, if you've listened to any of them, hit me up in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts. If you haven't checked them out, check them out. You know, again, with the Bob Dylan one, a lot of you probably wouldn't even care for it because, again, it is folk rock. It's not exactly in your wheelhouse. I just have an extremely wide range and variety in my taste in music. I like a lot of classic stuff along with specifically specializing in hip-hop, of course. That being said, hit the like button, comment, and sub. Hit the bell next to my name for notifications. Appreciate y'all checking out this video. Make sure to share it so your friends can check it out, and I will hit y'all up next time.